met someone who seems almost completely immune to jealousy? You know the type. These people, their friends get promotions, they go on exotic vacations, buy new homes, they hit major life goals, and their reaction is just one thing: genuine happiness for their friends. Not a bit of hint of envy. It's like they're playing a different game, one where the only person they are competing against is who they were yesterday. What's the secret behind these unshakable, amazing people? It's not that they are saints or that their lives are perfect. It's that their self worth is so deeply rooted internally that someone else's success is just irrelevant to their own situation or success. Today, we are going to explore the mindset of such people who have mastered jealousy and how they build that foundation of unshakable self assurance and self confidence and ability to be in their skin with utmost pride. To understand how some people seem to rise above jealousy, we first have to get real about what jealousy is. Psychologically, scientifically, jealousy and its cousin, envy, are the two different beasts. Jealousy is that knot in your stomach when you feel a threat to a relationship you value, the fear of losing something or someone you have to a rival. Envy, on the other hand, is all about social comparison. It's that pang you feel when you desire something that you do not have in your life that someone else has. Whether it is their talent, their stuff, their success, wealth, or relationship success. Now, both of these feelings are wired into our brains as ancient survival tools. Research shows they light up brain regions tied to threat detection and emotional pain. Back in the caveman days, being paranoid about your social standing or your partner getting snatched away by a younger or good looking person was actually pretty useful survival tool. But in the modern world, that wiring can go haywire, and it's supercharged by two things: social comparison and a scarcity mindset, and low self esteem and low self worth. Social comparison theory is simple. We are all wired to figure out how we are doing by looking at what everyone else is doing. That's not always bad, but when you're constantly making that comparison, especially the upward comparison, pitting your everyday life against someone else's highest level, then it can breed some serious feeling of inferiority. You see, many people, they have this grandiosity about themselves. This again is related to certain kinds of personality disorders where people, they believe they are something or they are someone or they've achieved something, whereas in reality it is exactly the opposite. They are a nobody, they are a nothing, and they're utter failures in their life, but yet they seem to compare their lives with certain levels which are out of reality, out of touch. Now let's go back to this social media world. You know, when you see the perfect vacation photos of some people or your friends or your acquaintances, their shiny new car or their new vacation home, the destination multi-million dollar weddings of one of their children, or a blissful relationship, suddenly your own life feels like it's lacking or you are missing something in your life that you feel you deserve. This gets even worse when you add that scarcity mindset. That is the quiet, nagging belief that success, happiness, and opportunities are all slices of one single large pie. If someone else gets a huge slice, that must mean that there is less left for you, or you start feeling insignificant in front of them. This turns into a brutal zero sum game where every win for someone else feels like a loss for you. Living in that cycle is exhausting, and it's a polar opposite of the mindset we're talking about today. So, what does it feel like to be free from that trap? Let's paint a picture. When a colleague announces that they just landed a dream project, the unshakable person's first genuine thought is, "Oh my god, that's incredible. I'm so happy for you." There is no secret follow up thought of, "Why them and not me?" or "I deserved more than them." Their happiness for that other person is clean, it is uncomplicated, and it is detached from their own goals and desires. When they are scrolling through social media and they see a friend backpacking through Asia or having a vacation that they desire to have sometime, they don't see it as a judgment of their own quieter life. They just see that person's unique adventure. They feel a little spark of joy for them, and they get back right at focusing on their own path. Someone else's victory isn't a threat to their own journey of life, to their own aspirations, or to their own goals and desires. And let's be clear, this isn't because they have everything that they've ever wanted. Nobody's life is perfect. The difference is that they focus differently. People who are drowning in jealousy are extremely unfocused. They are having a roller coaster ride of their own self worth assessment. They assess themselves lesser, and sometimes they go up and down on that assessment like a roller coaster ride. They are constantly thinking about what others are doing and what others have and what others think of them. That's a very fragile mindset. In contrast, the unshakable individual is internally focused. They are so secure and in who they are that other people's wins just don't register as a personal loss or a personal competition. They have their own internal compass for what matters and what they are worth, completely separate from a job title or a follower count or the number of kudos they get on social media or in their personal or professional life. Their self worth is an anchor, not a ship tossed around on the chaotic seas of social media. They have shifted from a mindset of lack to one of quiet, powerful confidence. If this sounds like a mindset that you want to build, and if you've tried on the endless cycle of comparison, then you're in the right place. The next part is all about the practical, no nonsense pillars you can start building today to develop that self assurance path. So stick with us and stay around till the end of the video. Becoming less prone to jealousy, it isn't magic. It's a skill, it's a mindset, it's a known tool that you develop. And it's built on a few powerful, actionable pillars that you can start putting into practice right now. Pillar 1, an abundance mindset. First up is the direct antidote to scarcity. An abundance mindset is the core belief that there is plenty of success, love, and happiness to go around for everyone. It reframes the world from a cutthroat competition into a wide open field of possibility. Someone with a scarcity mindset, they see success of somebody else as a finite pie and they want to get a piece of that pie rather than build their own pie. If you get a big piece, mine gets smaller. That is the scarcity mindset. But a person with an abundance mindset knows that that pie is infinite. In fact, they believe that when one person wins, it doesn't shrink the pie at all. It often makes it bigger by creating new opportunities and showing everyone what's possible and what's doable. They can be genuinely happy for others because they know that other person's success takes absolutely nothing away from their own potential. So, how do you get there? Start by consciously celebrating other people's wins. The next time you feel that little sting of envy, pause, acknowledge it, and then release it. Then deliberately reframe it. Tell yourself, this is inspiring for me to see someone else successful. It shows me the possibilities of what I can do in my own life. Over time, this conscious effort, it retrains your brain to see success not as a threat but as a proof of abundance. Pillar number 2, radical self focus. The second pillar is all about where you put your attention. Think of a race horse with blinders on. The horse isn't worried about what the other horses are doing. It is just focused on running its own race in its own way and to be number one in that race. That's a radical self focus. It's a deep, unshakable understanding that your journey is your own. Comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 25 is just not fair. It's completely illogical. You have no idea about the years of silent work, the private struggles, or the lucky breaks that the other person must have received. You only see the finished product of their success. To build this pillar, you have to get obsessed with your own path. Define what success actually means to you. You, not to others, not to your parents, your friends, your social media communities or followers. It should be defined by you and what it means for you. What do you value? What kind of life do you want and do you desire? When you have your own personal definition of winning, other people's achievements becomes way less intimidating because you realize you are not even running in the same race. And it is very true, everybody is running their own different race. When you start comparing yourself with somebody else, you are only adding burden onto your race from reaching that winning point. The only person you're competing with is you, who you were yesterday. That's the only scoreboard that you should keep and that matters to you. Pillar number 3, internal validation. This brings us to the final but most important pillar. Getting your sense of worth from your inside. It's called the inner engineering. External validation is that temporary high you get from likes on a photo, a compliment from your boss, or a round of applause. These are all moments of fleeting pleasures. It feels great, but it's very temporary and flimsy because it's completely out of your control. If you rely on such external validating factors for your self esteem, then you're basically handing the keys of your happiness over to the rest of the world. Internal validation, on the other hand, is the skill of being your own source of approval. You should know your self worth. You should know where you stand within the spectrum of various factors that you need to use to validate yourself, whether it is your strengths, your weaknesses, whether it is where you stand in your life, what you're trying to achieve next. Remember, all of these should be made with a conscious understanding of what you are capable of and how you can discipline yourself to get to the next level in your life. It is feeling proud of your own effort. Even if it fails, it is accepting of yourself with your flaws, your limitations, and understanding your abilities and the lack of it. It's knowing deep down that you value yourself as a human being. You are not the job, you are not the relationship status, you are not the number of likes, you're not the bank account, you're not the number of homes you own. It's just there. These things are just external factors. Your self worth is you, how you are looking at yourself and understanding yourself. To build this, start knowing that you have to um, love yourself, learn about yourself, become better at yourself, continuously try to improve your skills, your qualities, trying to be a better person than what you were yesterday. Celebrate your small wins. Praise yourself for your small wins. Acknowledge your strengths and, more importantly, acknowledge your weaknesses and your incapabilities. And when you fail or when you fall down, you try to have some compassion for yourself rather than beating up yourself and being validated by what other people think of you in that situation. It's about becoming your own biggest cheerleader and your own biggest coach, your own biggest teacher, and you grow with wisdom. When you sense your self worth, it comes from this deep internal wall. You stop desperately seeking validation from others and you validate yourself and you understand your worth. And this is where the core strength comes from for this pillar. And everything else, the feelings of jealousy and envy, they all start to fade away. The journey away from jealousy is not about becoming perfect or emotional or not acknowledging other people's achievements. It's about becoming more authentic and more genuine and becoming a more powerful version of yourself. It's about choosing an abundance mindset, knowing the world is full of chances. This is a deliberate choice to practice radical self focus, keeping your eyes on your own lane, and it's a commitment that you make to yourself and build your own self worth from inside out. So you don't have to measure it against anybody else on the outside. Look, this is not an overnight fix. It's a practice, it's a mindset, it's a discipline. But by building these pillars, you can move from a place of insecurity and comparison to one of profound confidence and peace. You can learn to be genuinely happy for others while staying completely focused on building your own incredible life. You can become one of those unshakable people, and that's a game worth playing. Thank you and goodbye.